Hey, good morning. I want to have a midweek moment with you about gates. Now, this is something we don't usually think about. And when we consider a gate, oftentimes we consider the value of a gate is to keep something in, right? A farmer wants to keep their sheep in. They want to keep their cattle in. If I had a nickel for every time I've told my kids to close the door so the dog doesn't get out, our house would be paid off. But reality is, God puts gates in our lives, not only to keep certain things in, but equally to keep certain things out. And sometimes we don't think about that outside as much. Margaret Feinberg talks about this topic in her book, My Search for the Divine, and it's an incredible book. But the value of gates is equal to the value of boundaries. And we have to set boundaries in our lives. This goes for everything. Sometimes we have to set boundaries on what we watch on TV. There might be things you absolutely love, but in the spirit, they're not right for you. And it's okay to say, I'm not going to subject my mind and my heart to what's in that content. Sometimes it has to do with music. And there are times where those boundaries may have to do with food. And there's places where those boundaries have to do with people. Now, that doesn't mean that you just cut off all the people and hermit for the rest of your life. That's not the way God's called us to live. But in Matthew, we hear that there's a point where God says it's okay to go in the direction God's called you to go. And if somebody's not running alongside of you, that's okay. Matthew chapter 10, and Jesus is speaking to the disciples. It's in verse 14, and he says, if anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that hometown, shake the dust off your feet. Truly, I tell you, it will be more bearable for Sodom and Gomorrah on that day of judgment for that town. What does that have to do with you? It means you chase after Jesus full throttle with everything that you have, and hope and pray that you're able to speak and encourage those around you to do the same. But the God that we serve is a gentleman, which means everybody's relationship with him is their relationship with him. You can't control that. You can't control their choices. One of the filters that I learned many, many years ago, and it's an important one for us to learn in our faith, is what I have to say out to make a point, or is it out to make a difference? If it's out to make a point, then chances are I probably need to keep it to myself and let the Holy Spirit do his job. But if it's out to make a difference, then it's spirit-led and it's pure of heart. And in that way, it can be used by the Holy Spirit to transform somebody's life. So today, on the first Wednesday of 2022, I challenge you to get your running shoes on, get your feet in the blocks, and get ready to chase after Jesus. No matter what, full throttle, game on, ready for the fresh wind that he wants to pour over you. Go after him with everything you have, setting the boundaries along the way to make sure that you're taking the path for him in all steps of life. Have a great Wednesday.